All right, here we go. The game one of the regional qualifier, otherwise known as the Gauntlet. If you've watched my previous cast, I casted Samsung versus the Africa Freaks in their 5-game reverse sweep. Wow, it was so amazing. It was Africa going 2-0, dominating fashion. Samsung getting a Baron and churning game 3 and going back and then winning the next 2 games. So I'm very excited to cast this. I don't know if I'm going to get all 5 games in this week, but I definitely want to cast these games. KT Rolster, it's got some of my favorite players. Mata being for sure one of them. Smebs at the top of the league. Pawn has just he's been there for years, and so is Death. So really, they just have superstar after superstar. And Samsung, I don't think everyone thought that they would make it this far. I believe the winners of this Gauntlet match go on to Worlds. So they're going to be joining SK Telecom as well as the Jin Air? Whoever beat SK Telecom. Anyways, this is going to be the third Korean team, and yeah, very excited. We saw Samsung play Nar in the top lane. We've seen a whole lot of different mid laners. We even saw Africa try a Lulu jungle on game 4 and did pretty well. It was not the reason why they lost, although a more standard jungler would have probably been nice. But with Ardent Center so strong on the 7.15 patch, every team's looking for any excuse to build it, and as you can see with KT Rolster first picking Rakan, that's definitely what Rakan rushes, and of course picking up the Xayah for the lovers duo in the bot lane, and can't wait to see Mata on the old Rakan, doing those engages like we used to see him on the Thresh. But you can't see him on Thresh this time because it was the first ban of Samsung. But KT looking to target the jungle pool of Samsung. Core JJ had some very, very excellent standout positions, standout games on the position of support. With Ruler as well, looking pretty good on Tristana. As you can see, Tristana banned from KT Rolster, banned by KT Rolster, as well as 2 supports, Tarek and Alistar, and going ahead and finishing with a 3rd ban of Blitzcrank. So Core JJ having his champions pool definitely tightened. The notable supports that are still up would be Janna, Janna, Karma, Lulu. Yeah, you're going to see one of those. Janna, Karma, Lulu to work nicely with the Kalista. Here with a pick of Talia hovering over, but I don't see any reason why they won't pick it. But Talia, pretty hard to counter. You'd have to pick, let's say, an Ahri or possibly a Kassadin. Might do well into the mid to late game. Could do an Orianna as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for mid lane and support on Samsung's side. So let's see if their thinking is along the same as mine. Syndra, yeah, definitely. Syndra's up there. Definitely has burst pressure on Talia. Once Syndra hits level 6, can be getting kills in lane. Look for Syndra to possibly go Ignite. To get that early kill pressure. Pawn is going to be looking more to roam with the Talia once 6 is hit, and as we can see, Core JJ picking up the Lulu, so very strong with Ardent Sensor, going to be going ahead and rushing that, and then possibly a Redemption after that. So everything is working out fairly nicely. The top lane is going to favor, in the lane, it's going to favor Cho'Gath, but the utility is going to favor Shen as he can use his ultimate all the way across the map and possibly swing a team fight. But on the neutral objectives towards mid and late game, if Cho'Gath can get those, 5 to 8 stacks plus, is when he becomes quite the monster. Some of them building Warmogs now, third item. Just getting all kinds of hit points in the 4,000 to 5,000 range. And if you don't kill him, he's able to regenerate up to full health in about just under 10 seconds. So you just have to go ahead, push another wave or two, and you're back to full life, and they have to try to burst out your tankiest member once again. As the Xayah Callista, it's a pretty even lane. No real advantage for that. For playmaking, you have to give it for Rakan. Lulu offers a little more utility, and Rakan is going to try to roam a little bit more for Mata. So both teams drafting well. I don't really see any sort of any major faux pas. Nothing to really discuss too much. It's pretty even lanes, and we're going to have to see how this goes in the mid game. I don't see either team taking too much of an advantage in the laning phase. Both junglers pretty similar too, relying on their CC. Both should be going Cinder Hulk and full tank. No surprises there. The Samsung team has seen KT Roaster go into their red side jungle, so they know that they're there. They're not going to be face checking any brush alone, and KT knows that. Just leave a couple of wards, one by the red buff and another one right above the red buff in the small bush that connects mid lane to the dragon area. Going to be interesting to see if Smeb goes for the Titanic Hydra first item, which is a little bit more of an aggressive route for Shen. You are putting more into attack and wave clearing abilities rather than full tank, like you would go with a Sunfire cape and then into tank. So here we have with the early invade, jungler in tow. It's 2-on-2 right now, but Samsung's not really sure how many members of KT Roaster are around, and it looks like they're going to just give this up. But both sides can see each other perfectly, and there's no surprises. A single wolf gained by Zac. Gragas knows that Zac is now giving up this buff, but does not know that he's on his way back. Taking a little bit of damage is Gragas, not wanting to fight both Zac and the blue buff. I'd like the cameraman to go back to this blue buff fight. There's not really anything else that's going to be going on in the lanes except for this. Score giving up the blue buff, just wasting a little bit too much time. Yeah, he's wasting Zac's time as well, but Zac is in his own jungle and had already got that small wolf camp, and just went ahead and got level 2. Is Gragas. Those chicken camp is worth so much more. You get the level 2 off of it, whereas the wolf camp you do not get level 2. Great stake takeaway from Pawn, taking away 2 or 3 of those small neutral creeps, making sure that his jungler does not get too far behind in the XP. Frankly, score is substantially ahead, probably about halfway ahead on the level 3. Slight gold lead now for KT Roaster. That's all because of Shen and Smeb in the top lane, because Kuve and Cho'Gath was covering his jungler's blue buff, just wasn't able to get into lane just quick enough, and Shen's been able to push that, and wants to keep pushing that to get it under turret, and so that Cho'Gath isn't able to pick up all the CS and gets a slight farm disadvantage, but it won't be too much, and Shen is pushed out pretty far without any sort of ward in his river. Seeing that, he's going ahead and warding right now in the top lane. Huve doing a good job picking that out, saying, hey guys, there's probably a ward there, or my laner is roaming. One or the other. Basically, Smeb was just checking with that scrying orb that whether the blue buff is still there or not. So Gragas did see that. It'd be very aggressive for him to go and take this right now. You've got to have a real solid knowledge of the jungle pass and the jungle clearing to be able to take that with less than half health, knowing that you can take it before Zac can get back into lane. So he does have smite. He's just barely able to get it. He's got that level lead, and is probably going to want to continue jungling, as there's no way that Kuve is going to be pushing out into this lane, seeing Gragas so close to the top. Even CS in top lane, slight advantage for Pawn as Talia in the mid lane, and big advantage here for Deft over Ruler at 6. Now they do have a couple of extra minions, but this is under tower, so it's not guaranteed he's going to pick all of them up. Probably is going to be at about a 3 or 4 CS advantage after this is taken out. And gets all of them, so only a 2 CS advantage. That's right, we're not talking gold and platinum tier here, we're talking Korean challenger and Korean master tier, which is definitely a step above anything that I ever see in any sort of games. Definitely from my own skill level I'm talking about. Definitely LPL, LCK, the LCS, all fun to watch. Can't say that I watched the Oceanic region or the Southeast Asian regions. Southeast Asian, I know you have the superpowers there and AHQ and the Flash Wolves, but I just can't bring myself to watch another region on top of the 4 regions I already watch. I have a girlfriend, so there's no way that I can do all regions and keep a job and a girlfriend at that. There's only so many hours in a day. I have to sleep occasionally. I wonder what item that Shen is going to go for, and is going to go for the Hydra item. Yes, I love it. The confidence and the aggression coming out from Shen. Really, until Cho'Gath hits level 6, which he just hit, he doesn't have a whole lot of kill potential, and especially seeing that Cho'Gath's first items were upgraded boots and cloth armor. You know that he's not going to go for that Catalyst AP Rod of Ages build that we've seen built before. It's a little bit more rare, a little bit higher risk, but if you could get that Rod of Ages stacking and then go full tank after that, it can be useful, particularly in the mid game once that Rod of Ages is fully stacked up and you're starting to fight for dragons. So I'm looking at the jungle experience advantage for score over ambition. Hitting level 6, he should be looking to gank or possibly make a dragon play. He knows he's up by taking the blue buff, so he knows he's up. Zac just hit this level 6 just now, and Gragas is just waiting for this camp to spawn so that he can pass it over to Talia. I'm thinking he's gonna try to go bot lane or mid lane after this buff. I don't think he's gonna go for the dragon. Could also decide to clear out his red buff as well, but as Gragas, I'm looking to gank at this point. You just hit level 6, and you can with the right type of gank really make a difference in a lane, even if it's just blowing a flash it gives you an avenue to come back and gank again. You can even wait till your ultimate's back up. The ultimate at about 1.5 minutes at this juncture, whereas the flash is the full 5 minutes. So yeah, still in depth a lead, and they're going ahead and engaging on this with the BF sword. They have a damage advantage over Ruler and Core JJ. Ruler deciding to go Ninja Tabby's first item, so not feeling very confident, just wanting to survive this lane, and starting off with a CS disadvantage. You just don't want to you don't want to get poked out of lane. You don't want to get outmaneuvered, and starting the Ninja Tabby's. It's something that a lot of players don't do, even in high elo, but here in these crucial playoff Gauntlet games, you got to swallow your ego. You take the CS disadvantage. Just watch, at 15 minutes, this CS disadvantage is going to balloon up to 20-25 from the 7 it is currently. I imagine to see KT's bottom lane going to be a little bit more aggressive, seeing the item buy that Samsung's bottom lane has went ahead and did. You're really like a shark smelling blood in the water when you see armor boots on your opposing laner. So if Score as Gragas saw where Zach was, he would most certainly start the dragon. But there's still a question of where Zach is. Fighting over vision, particularly over this dragon. It is a mountain dragon, so definitely one that they want to contest. One that at 10-11 minutes here that we're witnessing. Vision is being placed. The Scuttle Crab has already been taken. There's already 3 control wards purchased for KT Roaster. This back by Cho'Gath is important. He's backing just a little bit before Shen is had to. Both of them have teleport up, and I look to see both of them walk back into lane. They want to keep the teleport up for this next dragon fight. I don't see it. We already see Cho'Gath walking up, but I don't see Shen teleporting unless it's to try to make a play on bot lane right now. But with the wave pushed up until tower, there's really not much of an opportunity. They're just going to walk back into lane, continue trading farm, and watch for this first dragon fight. Some advanced vision here by Mata. They have the double control wards on the most likely path towards the dragon. They should feel confident to start it once they're able to get some poke off on the enemy. And really with Talia, Gragas, and Xayah, you have the poke to be able to knock even a single champion down to half health will be enough to make a play on the dragon. There is no vision on the dragon for either team, but they're merely putting vision around the dragon. So Gragas changing the position of his control ward. He had it in the bush on top of dragon inside the river, but chooses to put it down in the bottom tri-bush. As going to make the bottom lane of Samsung be worried about a gank here on bot lane. But look at that damage by Smeb, just taking apart the Shen. And here, they're catching Ambition out. Ambition using that to escape, but Mata's not letting him. Flash coming out, back into the E's. Very, very hard to catch Zach this early into the game, but they're not had enough. They have a 5-man diving on bottom. Teleport coming in by Kuve. Cho'Gath's going to try to make a difference here. First blood over to Samsung. Callista being able to take that onto Gragas. And that gives an early bit of pressure from the Samsung mid lane into the mid turret, as well as that first blood. So great rotation. The teleport from Akuve to go ahead and to make sure that play does not get turned on the turret. Very heads up. We're going to see what Talia buys with, not Talia. I keep mixing up Talia and Callista. It's Callista. We'll see what Callista goes ahead with this next buy. Probably going to be going ahead, and it's going to go for the Bork rush. So you could do a Runon's Hurricane or a Bork either. Generally, the Bork is the preferred start just because you have that little bit of extra one-on-one power. And Ambition looking to take out some vision. E being interrupted, and that's going to mean that he's going to turn into his passive. This is almost certainly going to be in a Mountain Dragon over for KT Rolster, and with that kill, if I was Gragas, I would go directly on this dragon and challenge Samsung to try and stop you. You have a Shen. He's got teleport. He doesn't have his ultimate up yet, but it will be up in about, I'd say about 45 seconds at this current first level. So if this was an Infernal Dragon, they most certainly would have went and gotten it, but because it's a Mountain Dragon, not being able to get it, and really that shouldn't be happening in top lane. That's the danger of starting with this Titanic Hydra start, is when Cho'Gath is able to get the CC and run you down on the top lane, once he gets you weak, he's able to not only finish you off with the kill with his ultimate, but get that ever important non-stopping stacking of the ultimate of his, and he just loves to get champion kills and epic monster kills with his ultimate, because they just keep stacking forever and forever and ever. And when he's not eating the champion, he's going to go ahead and eat the 5 minions that you can. And already, once he gets that 5 minion max, as well as that champion kill, he's going to be at a solid 6 stacks. And like I'm saying, once you get that 5 to 8 stack mark with Cho'Gath, there's really not much that the enemy team can do unless they have an overwhelming damage advantage. Just look at all those health bars already this early in the game, 16 minutes. Righteous Glory Rush, this has been the popular rush these days. Going for team fighting, and look at that, he's already been able to kill Shen without going a damage item, just merely a utility tank item. Scuttle, very important because the Rift Herald is up for another 3 minutes, and when you get that Rift Herald, it's almost certain that the enemy team at this juncture is not going to be able to secure that Rift. Ultimate for Shen is up. The teleport from Cho'Gath, not quite up, but up in about 10 seconds. So there could be fireworks here once again on bot lane. I'm waiting for it. Bork finished by Callista. Finally got that damage item to go with those boots of armor, those ninja tabbies. And Xayah finishing off the Essence Reaver. And looks like she's going to be going for an attack speed item. If I'd have to guess, I would say it would be the Rapid Fire Cannon or the Static Shiv. Syndra in the middle, finishing the Morellonomicon, looking to go Void Staff next, which is the classic 1-2 punch. You make sure you have enough mana, and then you go for straight magic penetration. Already got the boots. Once getting Void Staff finished, going to be able to burst out one of the 3 squishies on KT Rolster. Callista damage just stacking up ever so slightly, and Cho'Gath coming in mostly as a defensive teleport. Probably should have canceled that as his team was out. If he dies here, it's just pretty much a free kill over. He had a chance to cancel that and would have been able to save all this damage on his turret, not have the CS go in the favor of Shen. Shen really could have even continued pushing and tried clearing minions within the towers. Crown doing a very good job getting this mid tower, and that's what it's really helpful to do against Talia. Talia continually wants to roam, and if you're not able to follow her, at least you can do is take that turret, and busting up that first turret gold not only gets the gold lead back on your side, but gets all kind of mid pressure and map pressure, which Zach is certainly going to be looking for. Extremely long time not to be taking this mountain dragon. Myself as a Gragas jungler, I would have most certainly after that Zach kill went towards the dragon, but prioritizing levels and jungle and lane pressure, Score deciding that it wasn't worth the risk, or there was value to be had elsewhere. Really, either one of these teams is going to serve their region well, and whether it's Samsung or KT Rolster, you know that they're going to have the advantage over nearly every other international team. KT Rolster for sure is much more highly ranked. And here we have the grand entrance, and stack upon stack upon stack going Kallista's way. And here we have the engage. Gragas is going to want to be coming back and getting onto the AD carry here, or the support. Lulu's for sure going down and getting the double kill here on the enemy team is Talia and Xayah. Zach very fortunate just to be able to get out there, and we're going to have a 4-man push by KT Rolster on this bottom turret. We have Shen going back up top, not wanting to give his turret up just yet, and a big swing for KT Rolster, just being able to send everyone down to the bot lane and just overwhelm the pushed up Kallista and Lulu. So Kallista was getting all kinds of damage onto the support Mata, but wasn't able to finish him off, and having the jungler Gragas and Talia come bottom, followed up by the Shen, was more than enough to be able to clean up those 2 kills. And almost got the 3rd kill, almost got Zach, just was less than 100 health, just a mere sliver, and that could have been a 3 kills over. And look, are they going to prioritize Dragon? Finally. 22 minutes into the game, all it took was a double kill, and they're going to go ahead and secure Dragon. Gold is absolutely even. Anybody's game, just a mountain dragon in favor of KT Rolster. Rift Herald is off the map, and the ever-important Baron is up. So if you take a look at the scaling, really both teams scale fairly evenly. There's no hyper carries on either team. Both teams have a tank top, tank jungler, and really there's no advantage. Really, Lulu can only heavily buff Kallista. Rakan can only make plays on the 3 non-tanks. It's anybody's game. They both have very similar teams, very similar strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to be getting into this. Well, they're already in the midpoint of the game, but they're going to be moving into the late part of this game, running neck and neck. And you'd like to think that whichever team is able to either team fight better or is able to get this ever important first Baron is going to have a stark advantage over the other. Lots of vision wars going on. Syndra, very interestingly, is going up top lane. So not going to mid to defend. Moving up top, possibly to try to get a kill on this Talia. Very curious. Nope, they're going to go ahead and do a lane swap. Cho'Gath is going to head into the bot side of the map, whereas Syndra is going to temporarily take the top until the AD carry support duo head back up there. So this is high-level Korean macro play. You don't really see this in solo queue games, but it's really a pleasure to watch here at the highest level of the Korean qualifiers. Mere 300 gold for KT Rolster, and at 24 minutes, that is a single jungle camp or a single wave of minions. It's really not much is separating these two teams. Getting Ambition down to half health is Zaya. Now with that beautiful 2-item to power spike. Essence Reaver into Rapid Fire Cannon. Can be firing from a safe distance now. Talia coming in, closing the trap. They're engaging onto Samsung. Let's bounce. Trying to get out and save, but it's going to be all for naught. And KT Rolster is going to try to clean up. And Rakan is coming in, but not enough follow-up from his team. And the Syndra is able to use those purple balls of death to burst him out. And that's the thing when you're Rakan. You can make the fancy plays, you can jump in there, but then you can get bursted. And we've seen this with the Janna, with Rakan flying in, looking fancy, and the Janna just going woo and getting the howling gaze and being able to take the tornado and push him right back and say, try again. So this is a 4-on-3 in favor of Samsung, but has quickly been able to be turned, and the other two members of KT able to come right back in, and Zaya is doing all kinds of damage here behind the lines. And Mata, we saw what we was doing. Didn't necessarily know that Syndra was right behind. Just saw the very weak champion trying to run away and got the CC, but had to have somebody on his team follow up and really covered quite a lot of ground there, and the team was just a half step behind. Mata, the great thinker, excellent student of the game, really controls the game for any team that he's part of. Just the play was there, but the execution or the call was just a little bit lacking. Double Ardent Centers out. Both supports getting that. Also getting Lucidity Boots. They're pretty much going exactly the same items. They have exactly the same items. The same of everything. Both supports. So really not a lot of difference between the two support players. Yes, there's a big difference in the abilities. But as per items, not too much difference. Just the Rakan has seven assists. Look at Mata. Everywhere his team is. Just like with Pawn, 4 kills, 0 deaths, 3 assists. Everywhere on the map at once. And yes, Talia lost her first tower, gave away first tower gold, but has been making many plays over the map and getting all kinds of value with these roams. Adaptive Helm built by Shen, as well as by Gragas. So they're seeing all the ability power on Samsung, which is a little bit unusual. Look at that, a 4 ability power comp from Samsung, and you have to think that there's going to be a Spirit Visage coming out from one or more of the KT Rolster players. We'll see what other types of MR is being built. What we see with Talia, the Banshee's Veil, great buy. All kinds of Mercury Treads, 3 of them on the side of KT Rolster. Too much value with the magic resist and the tenacity to not get them. Team of KT, much more balanced comp. Yeah, they still are slightly more AP than AD. Actually a fair bit, but just not nearly as much as Samsung is. So any sort of magic resist itemization for Samsung is not going to be as effective as it is with KT Rolster, but they still have to do it. Cho'Gath has got his standard tank build, Righteous Glory, Gargoyle, Stoneplate, and a Warmogs. Really, it's a very, very difficult build to try to burst down. You have to have percentage to kill. So items such as a Bork, which the enemy team does not have. Zaya going Essence Reaver, as well as Rapid Fire Cannon, and the armor penetration item. Talia trying to make a play here onto Syndra. Looks like she might be able to get it. Just needs to make sure not to die here. Smeb doesn't quite want to take it, but is able to take it right before Mata comes in and scumbags it. I really thought Mata wanted that. He was diving in and wasn't just making it look fancy, but nice pick on the top lane. They're not going to go ahead and try to turn this into a Baron just yet. They have clear control of this game, being 3,600 gold up and a couple of dragons up. There's no need to go for any sort of risky 50-50 Baron at this point. Tried to interrupt that jump there, was Gragas, but just a tad too late. Didn't want to take the hard angle that it would have taken. Samsung had a control ward in the bush, so it was dark. Score not wanting to go too far into the enemy zone. Whoa, they're starting it. A little bit of an aggressive start here. The orb, Scrying Orb, coming down, being able to see that they had started it, completely backed off it now. You know, it's worth a check. There's only one Scrying Orb, and that's on Callista. There was a chance she didn't have it up. There's a chance it wasn't used. The team split. KT Rolster being able to lock down the kill onto Syndra, but not before Syndra is able to take the Recon. Teams fighting in. Cho'Gath getting the bite onto Zaya, getting it once again another stack. Got to be at around 6 or 7 stacks at this point. Callista trading that kill. It goes for a 3-for-1 in favor of Samsung, and you have to think that they're going for the Baron at this point. Cho'Gath does not have the bite, but Zach does have the smite. There is a slight smite advantage for Gragas, as he is now 2 levels higher. Huge smite advantage for the Gragmeister over the Zach, but he's not going to be in position to be able to steal this. Lest we forget the Callista being able to use the Rend, not only the smite but the Rend as well. Talia was able to split the team, but the Reaver's wall blocked her passage to get back into the fight, so wasn't able to continually put out damage. Ambition just barely being able to get out. The heal coming out from Callista, making sure Ambition did not die, although he would have been able to survive, just not being able to re-engage with that. Great team fight back into this game from Samsung. They did not engage the fight, but they sure as hell finished it. We're back at the razor-thin gold margin of 1,300. Only a couple of dragons for KT, including one mountain. Probably a reason they're also trying to start this Baron, because with the 20% extra damage, they could sneakily take this out. So here is the Cho'Gath, and if you don't knock him out, then he's just going to heal right back up. He had to use Flash, so he won't have that for the next engage. But just take a look at his health bar, which was at 60% when we last saw. In about 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8. Let's see when they see him next. He's full health right now. You can already know that. And there he goes. He is taking tower shots. That's why he's not full health there. But being able to be the tank that you need in these types of team fights. But look at Shen in the split pushing. Huge farm lead over the Cho'Gath, who's trying to team fight more with his team. Shen at 353 farm in 34 minutes. Very, very impressive for a champion that's not necessarily a split pusher, not a high damage champion, but that Titanic Hydra has been enough to be able to push these waves and create all kinds of pressure on the map. Cho'Gath having to respond, coming down to the bottom part, and he's not going to be able to push nearly as fast as Shen. Shen already pushing those waves again after having bought. Dragon up in 1 minute and 5 seconds. It's an Elder Dragon, which is not the most important for either team, but with Samsung having a Baron currently, they want to be taking this last outer tier 2 turret on the bottom side, and then would like the position for that. So Cho'Gath does not have flash, goes ahead and uses the stone plate, got all kinds of tank, just keeps on coming back, and there's no way he's going to be able to escape from this, being able to get def down to about 15% health, and a real good engage by KT, even though Samsung had the Baron, being able to pick off their most tankiest member, knowing that he doesn't have flash. So a good job by them. They're going to have the inside track position on this Elder Dragon, and Samsung might just leave it for them. Up in 5 seconds. We're going to have to see if there's any sort of fight. Really, it'd be very dangerous to almost suicidal for Samsung to try to fight this. You could go for a steal if you're Ambition, but you're a level down. You have no pressure from your team. Oh, they're going to be able to take it right from underneath. Let's take a look. Oh, wow, beautiful play and beautiful rotation by Samsung. I really didn't see that happen. That's a fail on KT's part, and they have to win a team fight here in order for this to swing back in their favor. Choosing the defensive route, going back into their tower, Samsung just snuck that Elder Dragon right away from KT, and that's KT unusually chasing kills in that situation, leaving the Elder Dragon with 3,500 health, and at this juncture, at 36 minutes into the game, that can be taken out in a few seconds by what there was 3 members of Samsung. Great predictive Q by Cho'Gath, and just barely being able to get past the Reaver's wall. Everything's going in Samsung's favor, but this isn't blind luck. This is careful rotations and very, very smart play. And this is why you watch the LCK. That does not happen in many regions, and very unusual to see KT with a little bit of a brain fart there, forgetting that the Elder Dragon was the objective there and not trying to pick up a kill or two, which would have only maybe gotten you a single turret to a maximum of 2 turrets. They're trying to regroup, trying to go ahead and put some Baron vision down. It's very early, but they're just trying to get vision around the map. Look at both sides of the map. Look at all the vision from KT. That's a total of 6 wards on the top side for KT, and 5 wards, on the bottom side, including 2 control wards. So vision is the name of the game, and when you have Mata on your team, he is definitely the one that's calling that out and the one that's making sure that happens. Nobody with the 100% kill participation. We do have some 9s out of 10 with Pawn and Mata being able to lock up 9 of these kills, but the rest of the team being able to be part of 8 of 10. So even the lowest amount of kill participation is still 80%. And that just goes to show you what is the amount of team fighting and how often 5 members of this team are together picking up kills as a unit. So Cho'Gath would have had to have maxed out his minion chops. So with a few champion kills, he's got 2 that we saw him do. That's a minimum of 7 that he has, and so the total for him is most likely at 7, with only future champion kills or epic monsters being able to be landed. And you can see already how big he is, but he sure would like to add a couple of more. Maybe his team can leave him a kill or two over the next few team fights. But they really shouldn't be leaving kills, as they just want to finish down KT as quickly as possible in position for this Baron. Elder Dragon has whittled away, when KT not engaging in any sort of major team fight. It looks like they might want to trade. They're going to be trying to trade this Baron for the bottom turret, but there's no way that Shen, I believe, is going to want to do this trade willingly. Reaver's Wall blocking the two team members. Rest of the team anxiously wants to come in. Lulu and Syndra not being there, and Shen coming in with his ultimate, still TP down, and Cho'Gath getting that ever important next stack. He's rocking 8 stacks right now onto that kill of Rakan. Rakan, you just got to make sure to keep him alive. Beautiful damage. Wow, those concussive blows, one after another, onto the Talia. And really, Talia only took 4 or 5 of those shots with a rend done afterwards. Cho'Gath does not have the ultimate up just yet. It should be in about 20-25 seconds. But Samsung's going to go ahead and prioritize taking this farm, trying to regain a little bit of control over this map. Waves are pushing against them on all sides. They didn't feel right doing the Baron there with 3 groups of waves pushing against them. And a fair bit of their ultimates were down. So they're ping on Baron from Samsung. So we're going to see the Reaver's Wall split the team. Rakan in the back line trying to make an engage, but getting chopped up by the Cho'Gath is not how you want to start this team fight for KT. Mata just being a little bit aggressive, and that's his nature. He's normally playing champions like Thresh, who can go ahead and take some of that damage, but when you're playing Rakan, yes, it's nice to engage, but you need to engage where 4 or 5 of the members are not going to be instantly turning on you with a Cho'Gath right beside you to take a third of your health with a single ability. Thorma picked up from Cho'Gath. And final item, he's got a Glacial Shroud. Probably going to be going Frozen Heart if I were have to guess. I would have liked to seen a Spirit Visage instead, just because of the Shen, Gragas, Talia, and a little bit of Rakan damage. But fearing Def's Xayah, who is the most fed on KT's team with a 4-1 and 5 scoreline, with a max build here at 42 minutes. So respecting the max item, max level Xayah, and going ahead and finishing off his build with 2 armor items. Even with that Mountain Dragon, KT does not want to start Baron. A little bit of low mana here from Kuve. Don't think he can win this fight. They're just poking each other because they like each other. They like going in the same lane. Shen's got the farm lead, but Cho'Gath's doing quite a lot in the team fights. He has a larger presence than Shen has so far. I know Shen has 2 kills and 6 assists, but Cho'Gath has been there. He's seen things, you know. Probably like to see a Q from him onto the minions and then back off, but he's going to do everything about that except Qing the minions. Teleport is up. KT looking to get vision onto the Baron, and the flash from Lulu. It was just a defensive flash, and would have had to do it eventually with that Reaver's Wall blocking her from the team. Don't see her going to be in the head of this team. Really, you want anybody else other than her now that she's blown her flash to be up ahead in the team fight. Even Syndra can take a CC shot with her Banshee's Veil up and ready. So once again, Samsung starting the Baron, and get this, so they have it, Callista, they have a Smite with Zac, and they have a Chomp from Cho'Gath. They want this 50-50 because it's not 50-50. They have the advantage. They could go ahead and lock this up, and they absolutely did with the Ren, but KT is going to want to engage on this fight. Gargoyle's going to play used by Cho'Gath. Rakan is going ahead on the engage, almost gets down Cho'Gath, but he's just going to want to go right out in the fight, use abilities, don't die, let your Warmogs go ahead and heal you. He's going to go ahead and back and teleport back into this fight, but we have Ambition as Zac right in the middle of things. He won't die right away if he's focused. He does have the passive, not as without his ultimate right now. Here's Kuve coming back in as Cho'Gath. He's full health and he had speed, not quite being able to lock him up, but they have the mid lane coming right in. We have Shen teleporting back into the bot lane. Zac not knowing exactly where he was, so not wanting to jump into that bush out of nowhere. Didn't 100% know he was in that bush. But with the Baron, Samsung, they're Mr. Barons. They're able to turn these fights, and they can be turning this game here with that very, very crucial Baron. And look at their team. They have a Baron team. They have the Chomp. They have the Ren. They have a Smite. Wow, so many more tools than KT, and they want 50-50 Baron. This is what this team is. That's what they have an advantage over KT. They're the Baron team. They know their strengths. You play to it. And getting that first inhibitor, they're going to go ahead and back off, pick up the farm, pick up a little extra gold for Zac. They don't need levels anymore. He's just looking to finish off his Thornmail, and Dragon is coming up. But it's going to be handed over to KT before at least the jungler is going to be able to get there. But Cho'Gath will have the Chomp, which should do more damage than the Smite. But not wanting to take any risks on that, he would have had to flash Chomp it. And really, you only see that type of play in solo queue, not in high-level LCK regional finals play. That's more of a RavExel type of play with the Cho'Gath. Is this red buff going to stop his back? Oh, Mata knows. Mata knows that won't stop him. Finishing off the locket there is Mata. Literally, these supports have gone pretty close to item for item. Just a single item away from each other, with Lulu going full build and Mata prioritizing vision and having 3 control wards instead of that last item. Using 1 already, making sure that the top tri-bush not warded, giving a clear split push path for Xayah, but she's not taking it. She's going to back. Going to go ahead and try to respond in the mid lane. Samsung not wanting to split at all at this point. They really don't have a dedicated split pusher, unlike KT, who has the Shen. KT wanting to fight at this time. They should be trying to engage a 4-on-5 here with the Shen ultimate up. That's why you have the Elder Dragon, is to be able to take that fight, take that true damage, and be able to position for an advantage for your team. But they seem happy to try to get a vision advantage. They want to make sure that their middle inhibitor gets back up before they go on any sort of major fight, because any loss of a team fight from KT could mean the end of the game, with Samsung being able to push right down the middle with only 1 Nexus turret, sorry, being left standing. So already all 3 control wards being used by Mata, and that's why you buy them, to make sure that certain bushes are clear, to have correct engages from your team. And Mata's going to go back, and we're going to see if he's going to go ahead and get that 5th item, or he's going to buy more control wards. And the master of vision himself, Sir Mata, buying 3 more control wards. If If you could buy 5 control boards, Mata would do it. And now we get into the 48-minute ZZ Rock portals. We normally see this strategy in Europe because the games last so long, but not very much into Korea. So what the strategy is you buy a ZZ Rock portal, and then you head back into base, sell it, purchase another one, and then get back into the fight. That way you have lane pressure, as well as being able to get your 5th item, so that you're not going to be penalized in a team fight. So lane pressure and a 5th item, that's why you do it. It's not gold effective, it's not meant to be. Shen being able to destroy the ZZ Rod on bottom. KT right now split, not wanting to get into a team fight. They have Shen pushing. This inhibitor should be up fairly shortly. I have it pegged. That should be coming up any time now. And there it goes. What a great decision to push for Samsung. And they just want to get this inhibitor. Yeah, they're having one of their inhibitors push, but this is a middle inhibitor. And Shen is going to have a little bit longer of a time to be landing this bottom inhibitor. Can't quite push the same as Callista. And Samsung looks to be prioritizing deep vision. Baron up in 35 seconds. They definitely should be playing towards that. We have Cho'Gath coming in on Shen. Now the perfect scenario for Samsung would be if they can kill Shen and make their way towards Baron, but with the rest of the team collapsing, that's not able to happen. All 5 members of KT now coming to Smeth's aid after he had taken the inhibitor. So another ZZ Rot now up for Samsung. Gold totals don't really matter. Mr. who's never in control of the camera. Everyone's at max items here. The only person is Mata who's not at max items, as he's prioritizing vision, and on purpose. Looks to be like Cho'Gath's trying to keep everyone out. Once again with the Rend, being able to secure this Baron. Cho'Gath should be once again doing the same sort of strategy, looking to back and then teleport back into this fight to turn it. Look at that Warmogs go. 6-7 seconds from less than 10% life, and now back at full life. So Samsung with the second Baron of the game, closing in on 100,000 gold. Samsung pinging the bot lane, saying, hey, let's just push up this way. They can't do anything about it. Zach holding on to the ZZ Rot. I imagine that they're going to push this wave, and Zach is going to go ahead and join them, and they're going to place the ZZ Rot up closer to KT's base. So not only do they have Baron-empowered minions pushing into KT, but also have the ZZ Rod, which again doesn't do a lot, but it's extra pushing power when you're trying to be knocking down another turret and a very crucial second inhibitor. So that ZZ Rod looks like about just came up just right now, so let's keep an eye on where Zach places it. It's clearing mid-wave. Shen not around, but he has multiple ways of getting back into this fight. I'd like Zach to be placing that ZZ Rod right about where he's standing. Reaver's wall down. Not sure if this is a fight that KT wants, not with this Baron-empowered Samsung Galaxy. And they're thinking the better of it, not going in for the fight. Very curious why Ambition not using this ZZ Rod. You have it, you're pushing against the team. Why aren't you using the ability? Second inhibitor down. nobody can stop the Callista. ZZ Rot's still up, still not used. What's the point of having it if you're not going to use it? Gonna go back to base. Does he keep it? I wonder what Zach's gonna do here. Yep, just gonna decide to keep it, buy an elixir, and keep going. Going ahead and pushing the top lane, dragging up in 1:40. Just an Elder Dragon. Really, inhibitors are the name of the game, and only the top inhibitor left. Let's see if Ambition places that ZZ Rot now, that both mid lane and bot lane are pushing with super minions. And there's only one more place left to attack unless you're going for the base. Well, the Nexus, I mean. Chen on bot lane, pushed it out to about halfway through the map, but going ahead and backing. Cho'Gath tanking the turret shots. Reaver's wall blocking the carries from the tanks. Really, the tanks are the only ones being focused now. Damage for Samsung not coming out. Really, the tanks are getting bursted right out. Getting the Cho'Gath is so huge for KT, buying them all kinds of time and the ability to re-engage. They're going to take their advantage where they can and not going to chase too hard. ZZ Rot pushing the mid lane. Just slowing down these creeps. Single inhibitor down for each team on the bot wave, but Samsung's just came up, and they're going to have about a 1.5-minute advantage on that bot lane pushing. So Cho'Gath down for 40 seconds, dragging up in 10. It should be given over to KT. No point in trying to steal this. For Samsung, you just might go ahead and lose yourself the game. Really, you should be just trying to push a wave, put some pressure, collect some buffs. Everyone's going to go ahead and buy elixirs, get full health, so only spent was taken down about 5 or 10%. Gold totals don't matter, levels, items, everyone's maxed. Zach went ahead and sold the ZZ Rot, thankfully. It wasn't being used effectively anyways. Just holding that mid lane up slightly. You need to use it with your teleport carrying champion, so Cho'Gath needs to buy it, head out to somewhere in the middle of the map, use it, recall back to base, and then sell the ZZ Rot, buy your 5th item, teleport it back in, and then engage on the fight. A lot of steps there, but when you have unlimited gold like they do now, if you have 2 or 3 members of your team doing it, it does create some extra pressure that the other team has to deal with. Both teams being extremely careful, not wanting to give away this first game by engaging in an ill-advised team fight. Shen staying in the bush, watching his team, just checking to see where's the next fight going to be, am I needed. Deciding not to push that wave, just he knows that if he gets picked off there, it would most likely be a free Baron. And they have discovered that this is a Samsung Baron team. Chen doing the strategy of the ZZ Rot, placing it down on bot lane, not wanting that to push against him any harder. Look at these CS totals, over 600 by both AD carries. Getting pretty ludicrous at this point. KT still has the Elder Dragon. They should be wanting to fight this. I don't understand why they're not fighting when they have this advantage in Elder Dragon. Ultimate used by Xayah, getting away, but that's only a jump down for
KT even going to get a try to contest? Yeah, they are, but they're not going to get a 50-50. Once again, Kalista with the smite. Zach getting bursted down. Shen coming in with the ultimate. They need to get Zach out of there, but it's not going to be very easy. Taunt coming in, landing on the Zach. Baron was taken. Very nice jump by Kalista, predicting the Gragas engage. Gets Gragas down to 20% health. They can turn this fight. This is Samsung's to win. Zach getting the engage on the Talia. Talia getting being slippery, but not too slippery from the Kalista. And a double kill from Syndra. This is Samsung's to win. They just need to finish this Shen off and then win this game. Go on, Cho'Gath. Hit him with that last hit. That's a 5 for 0. Samsung wins this game. That's 3 Barons. Going to be able to push Ryan. Not quite a 5 for 0. Kalista going down right at the end there. But great objective control from Samsung. Who needs a dragon? They certainly don't. They didn't need Elder Dragons. They didn't need the mountain. They didn't need the wind. Not even Earth, Wind, or Fire, like the popular group from the 70s. But what that tell you what they do is they do prioritize that Baron, and I love this comp with their style. I didn't pick it up quite at first, but after they got that first contested Baron, they know they pulled that off. And what a game at 60 minutes, 30 seconds. Really, there wasn't a whole lot happening in the last 20 or 30 minutes of that game, but it was just both teams looking to try to force the other one into a mistake, and these guys are ecstatic. If this first game is any indicator, this is going to be a long and drawn-out series, and I can't wait to bring this to you. These coaches are all business, very dejected on KT. This was the super team. This was the team that was supposed to take on KT, and look at them. They're having to go through the regional qualifiers, like some sort of substandard team. They should be beating these guys no problem. That's what you were thinking at the beginning of the year. But very meticulous play, and I'd have to say, I guess it would be Kalista would be the stand up, because with that Kalista rend, and without Kalista getting caught out, she was able to help secure these important objectives for the team. But really, every member doing quite a bit, from the top lane to mid lane and to the AD carry. And this was it. RavExel casting the first game of the Gauntlet, going ahead, going to Worlds, and really, I can't wait.